Hello, everybody, and welcome to Something Saturday, where we just talk about something we didn't get a chance to talk about during the rest of the week. And we have a topic for you today, and that is the new Friday the 13th film is a go. That's right, it's coming. The only question now is what about the details? And let's talk about that. Okay, so the question now is what about the details to this movie? Obviously, the two parties have been in a feud. If you don't know about that, I have other videos where we talk a little bit about it. Definitely check them out if you don't know the situation going on. But the two parties that own Friday the 13th, in a nutshell, have been arguing for a very long time. They have not come to terms, at least as far as we know, about what to do with Friday the 13th, with one party actually owning a lot of the original film. They basically own the original film and therefore the origin of Friday the 13th. However, that is not the classic Jason Voorhees character that we are used to seeing, because it was actually Sean Cunningham that made the iconic mask happen. The iconic hockey mask we think of as Jason Voorhees, as well as officially having the name Jason Voorhees. Although the name Jason Voorhees does appear in the first film, he's not actually seen until the end, and he is a little kid. Sorry, spoilers for the very first movie if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen that original movie, definitely you need to check it out, especially if you are a horror fan and you haven't seen it. But here's the thing about it. With them arguing over rights and distribution and everything else that they've been arguing about, because the one party can't release a movie internationally, but Sean Cunningham can. And here's the thing about that, though. Does he actually own the rights to the name Friday the 13th, or does that belong to the other guy? Well, we may have got a little bit of an answer here, and the answer is a bit crazy. So, Sean Cunningham has a Cameo account. And if you don't know what Cameo is, it is this little account thing that celebrities do to get a little bit of extra money or whatever, right? What they do is they lend their voice to you. So let's say you have somebody who's a big fan of, say, Julia Roberts, and Julia Roberts has a cameo. I don't know if Julia Roberts has a cameo. It was the first name that popped into my mind, but let's say for the sake of argument that Julia Roberts has a cameo. And Julia Roberts' cameo account, is $100. So you pay $100, you get Julia Roberts going, happy birthday to you, essentially. And so Sean Cunningham has a cameo. And in his Cameo bio, it says about Sean Cunningham. Sean S. Cunningham directed and produced the seminal horror film Friday the 13th, creating the iconic villain Jason Voorhees. The movie has spawned 12 installments with a 13th scheduled for next year. Now, he couldn't say that. He couldn't say that in a bio if it wasn't a fact. So there is a Friday the 13th film coming. Now, what exactly does it hint at and say here? Well, maybe he don't own the name to the Friday the 13th films. Maybe he only owns the Jason Voorhees character and only the iconic hockey mask. So representing any part of the original film would be prohibited. Saying Friday the 13th would be prohibited. But anything other than that, just showing Jason as an iconic killer, fans can then fill in the blanks, if you will. They could just take the movie and add it to their 13th collection, And boom, there you go. But here's the thing about it. Could they already have come together and we don't know? That is a big possibility, because the fact of the matter is we don't know anything about this movie yet. All we know is that it is for sure coming because he has it on his Cameo account, and they would make him take it down if this was not a fact. Number one, he would be getting sued. Okay? He would be getting sued if it wasn't part of an actual plan. So basically, Victor Miller, the other guy involved, can shoot a remake. He can shoot a sequel, but he can only use certain elements of Jason Voorhees. So if Victor Miller can only use certain elements of Jason Voorhees, and he only has rights to distribution of the original story, then guess what? He could do a sequel and make it a sequel to the very first film, but he could only distribute in the United States. So he has to convince an entire arena of people that this is doable, that you only want to do this TV show or this movie in the United States alone. Well, when you're talking about distribution, you want a wide audience. That global distribution becomes a very important factor and a very important debate within whether or not they okay your movie for distribution. Because if they can only distribute it in the United States, it hurts them financially. Sure, you can argue they wouldn't have had the money to begin with, but imagine that they can take the other guy, have him do something with it, and they can distribute it worldwide. Then who are you going to choose? What side are you going to choose if you are an executive looking for the most money to come to your studio? You're going to choose Cunningham. Well, apparently this either has happened or the two of them have come to terms. Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham may in fact have come to terms and we just don't even know it. Now, this is pure speculation, and we don't want to get into speculation because as far as we know, they have not. As far as we know, there has been no communication whatsoever. But very early on this year, Sean Cunningham was saying that, even a few months ago, saying that the odds of a new movie are about 50-50. Now, that being said, it's really weird to think of that, because you have a movie that is now saying that it's going to be out, that a few months ago we had nothing on. We had nothing because he didn't have that on his Cameo a few months ago. This is a new development. So something in fact has happened. And we as horror fans need to support this and be excited for this. Why? Because this is going to be a worldwide distributed film. If Sean Cunningham is involved in this film, it can be worldwide distributed. Now, does this mean that it won't be called Friday the 13th? We don't know. Does this mean that they can't reference the past at all? We don't know. Now, in the event that they have come together, then the sky's the limit. They can do whatever they want. They could do an entire remake series. The 13th movie, however, hints that this will be a sequel. So regardless of what would come in the future, if they are in fact together, they could do this last movie. Because if you remember right, horror fans from way back in the day, and I remember reading this much later, but I still read it, and it was exciting to me, is that they were supposed to have a certain amount of films. All right, so I don't remember the exact quote. I don't remember what they said exactly, but I seem to recall, and it's a definite recall, they said it. It's just a matter of finding it now, all these years later, that we were going to have a certain amount of Friday the 13th films by a certain day, by a certain year. And I believe they meant like the year 2000. I believe that was supposed to be the time we were supposed to have all the Friday the 13th films or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody knows that exact quote, please by all means drop it in the comment box, because I forget how it actually goes and would really like to hear that quote again. Now, what was odd about it is we were promised this, and then companies changed over, things happened, it just went south really, really quick. But then the lawsuit hit. This lawyer came and he decided that he was going to get everybody their property back. All the people who created anything and gave it away. You know, sold it. I could get you your property back. Which, right or wrong, it hurt the film industry. It really did. It hurt. It potentially can still hurt a lot of properties. But it looks like somehow, some way, we are getting this Friday the 13th film. And I, for one, cannot be more excited about it. I mean, I am super pumped about this. And it doesn't matter if they can use the name Friday the 13th. It doesn't even matter for real if they can use the name Jason Voorhees. If they put this man in a hockey mask, and I know he's Jason, in the long run, what's that really going to matter? However, on the flip side, we really do hope that they can use the name Jason Voorhees, that they can use the name Friday the 13th, that everything is good across the horror verse. Let me know what you think in the comments. So drop us a comment and let us know what you think. And remember to share this video with all of your friends so that they get the same great content that you got. And also so they can be a part of the conversation. And then friends, don't forget to hit that like button. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Helps us. Helps the channel. And then Miko says we need more subscribers. And you definitely don't want to disappoint Miko. Now, also make sure that you are hitting that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. And friends, at the end of the day, you know the routine. Do they know the routine? At the end of the day, fandom is family.